What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and it is that time of the year again. It's time for your summer transfer target tier list. We've got 31 players to get through that we've already been linked with this summer. Obviously, there will be more to come, and maybe we'll bring an updated version a bit later on in the summer. But for now, we've got 31 players to rank in between must sign, solid signing, backup, and stay away. So this could get very interesting. I know you love this type of content, and we love bringing you this type of content. So we'll see where these players do fit in to these tier lists. But before we get into that, let's talk about our T-shirts that are on sale at the moment. Our Sonny ones and Don Paratici and been absolutely flying off the shelves. So if you want to get yours, link is in the description below. And more are coming very soon, more designs, so keep your eyes out for that. So thank you everyone that has bought one already. We are definitely humbled by how many T-shirts we have sold already, so thank you very much. But let's get into the tier list. 31 players to get through. The first player we're going to talk about is Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison.
Jack Harrison.
Yeah. Where do you think he goes? Must sign, solid signing, backup, or stay away?
I think he probably, if you're thinking about how much you're going to have to sign him for, probably backup, but more like either stay away or backup. I don't know how good he is. Like, I think he's all right. I think he's done well for Leeds over this season. He gets, like, for the amount, you know, for the team he plays in, he gets a fair amount of goals and assists and stuff. But I think we can probably do better than him. But he's at a good age as well, so he's not terrible. I'd probably stay away. But I don't think he's bad, so, I mean, maybe backup. Either backup or stay away. I don't think he would go in the top two.
Yeah, the thing is with Jack Harrison, I think he is a good player. He's obviously got talent about him. But in the squad, what we need, what we're going for, he's definitely not a must-sign or solid signing, that's for sure. I think he flirts somewhere in between backup and stay away, because I don't think he's a terrible player, and I wouldn't be like excited if we signed him or anything, you know what I mean? So I would like him. I wouldn't like to sign him, to be honest. So I would just say stay away.
Stay away. I'm happy to put him in stay away. I don't think he's a player that, I mean, does he improve us? No, I don't think he improves the squad. Like, is he definitely better than Moore or Bergwijn?
Thing is, if he does come in, he's a backup. But I just wouldn't like him to come in.
Like, would you rather Bergwijn, Lucas, or Harrison?
Yeah, the former, Bergwijn and Lucas.
So you might as well stay away then.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so Jack Harrison goes into stay away. Next up is Calvin Phillips, which is an interesting one.
I think he'd be a good signing. I think he improves our midfield. You're talking about big money, so I think you get what you pay for, really, with Calvin. I think you're overpaying a bit when it comes to Calvin. I don't think he's a backup. I think he goes into our first team, but I don't think he's like a player. I don't think he's a must sign. So I'll probably put him in solid signing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think he's a player with immense qualities. He showed that for England in the Euros, didn't he? Started every single game. And I thought he was one of the best players for England in the Euros. I personally would agree with you completely. Solid signing. He's too good for a backup, in my opinion. And he's probably of similar quality to what we have in terms of Bentancur. I think he is probably better than Højbjerg slightly. But yeah,
he could be our best midfielder if he comes. It's very possible.
Yeah, I agree. So solid signing.
All right, solid signing.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is Adama Traore. I wonder where we put him in last year.
I think we put him in. Solid signing, but I think this time probably goes in backup. I still haven't changed my opinion on Adama. I think he would do well at Spurs. I think he'd be a good signing if under Conte. But I also think that in January, it was very much a case of we needed him, like, quite badly because of our options right wing back, how they were performing. At this point, now we've got Champions League football, I think we can start looking our sights a bit higher, so especially if we're a right wing back. I wouldn't want him as a winger. So I think maybe backup. I wouldn't say it's stay away. I wouldn't have him as stay away.
If he comes, right, when you're looking at our right wing back options, because if it is for a right winger, I probably would say stay away because his end product's just not good enough for that position.
It's weird what's happened to Barcelona. He started
Started
great.
well, yeah. Then he just kind of fell off. Would I want him as a backup? He would be a good backup to have. He would be. But do I think that time has maybe come and gone because we were so desperate for him in that January? I do kind of feel like that time has come and gone, and I don't really want to see him in a Spurs shirt now. But if he was to come, he would be a solid backup.
He would be a solid backup. So I'll probably put him as backup. But like, would you be happy with Jed Spence and Traore as our right wing back options
I'd probably like to keep Doherty
ahead of Traore?
I'd like to have all three of them, to be honest. I wouldn't mind Traore. I mean, it's difficult because Doherty has showed in those games where he was on form that he can really provide for us in the final third. Adama Traore hasn't really proved that.
No, only in short spurts. So maybe stay away then, because maybe if he does come, he'll just frustrate us.
But on the flip side of that, everything that we were saying about him in January still rings true, because I think that Antonio Conte can dramatically improve him, and the kind of attributes he has, beast mode, it's hard to get him off the ball. He's got elite dribbling qualities.
And maybe Conte can improve him.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I'll put him in backup, to be honest.
All right, put him in backup.
All right, next up, I think we know where this guy's going, and that is Alessandro Bastogne.
He's a must sign. Yeah, get him in any cost. He would be brilliant signing for us, for Conte. At his age, his ability, he's a must sign.
Agreed. He goes straight into must sign. Quite a nice symmetry. One in each sector so far, the first four players. It will get more interesting, though. Next up is Yves Bissouma of Brighton.
I think he's better than Calvin Phillips. And I think he could represent a massive upgrade on
he's cheaper than
and he could be
Phillips
cheap,
as well.
So he could go into must sign. But obviously, there's other things surrounding it. I mean, it's always going to be attached to him. I don't know what the situation is. So from that point of view, you can't put him. I don't know if you can put him must sign. It's either must sign or stay away in a weird way.
Yeah, I think that for argument's sake, let's just say the troubles are behind him, just for argument's sake.
He could very well be a must sign, because I really believe. I know he's done really well for Brighton, but I think he's one of these players. You put him in Spurs, and then people see him now as a very good player, but then people could see him as like a world-class player if you put him in Spurs. I've got a strong belief. I think he's so good. Dribbling ability, ability to dominate games. His shooting ability is also strong. Passing, I still want to see a bit more from him, but I think he definitely is a big upgrade on what we have. I think he dominates. Every time I see him, he dominates. Yeah. He's so good.
I completely agree with you. I think that he's a top talent. I'd love to see him at Spurs. I think he could thrive in our midfield. He'll add something extra as well. The guy never stops running. He's a bundle of energy, and he's got a lot of quality about him as well. So I'd put him... I think he flirts in between solid signing and must sign. But if I had to pick one...
If he wasn't at Brighton, I think we would all be saying must sign. If he was playing at a better team,
if he was like Inter Milan or something.
Yeah. But because he's a Brighton, there's still that bit of we're not sure about him. But I think he's brilliant.
All right, let's put him in must sign. Bissouma into must sign. Next one's an interesting one. Atletico Madrid's Yannick Carrasco.
I think he'd be... Obviously, he's played wing back quite a lot for Atletico Madrid. So you could... Obviously, we have Perisic now. So the need for him maybe is not as strong. I think Perisic is probably playing better than him right now in form-wise. He would be... Obviously, he's younger. He can also cover the wing positions as well, a bit like Perisic can. As in, I wouldn't be against his signing. I don't think... Do I think he'd be a backup if he came? Or would he be in the first team? Would it be a case of Perisic one side, Carrasco the other?
I mean, that could be dynamite, that.
That could be. So maybe solid signing if it's a good price.
Yeah.
And I think as well he covers versatile.
I think he's too good as a backup. Although if we do have players of that quality as a backup, we know we're going places.
Definitely.
But him as a signing, after bringing Perisic in, it's not like a necessity. It's an interesting one because, again, I think he flirts between backup and solid signing. So I'll sway more to solid signing.
Yeah, I'll put him in I think he'd be a solid signing.
Okay, next up is Mark Cucarella, another Brighton player.
Cucarella, I think at this point you have to say backup because we have Perisic, we have Sessegnon. I don't think he gets in. He's for sure getting in ahead of them right now. I wouldn't mind him as a backup to. I mean, now we have Perisic. I can't see this deal happening anyway. But I think he'd be. I don't think he's a stay away because I think he's a good player. But he would be goes into backup for me.
Would you favour Cucarella over Sessegnon?
Potentially, I think Cucarella is probably the better player now. But I think Sessegnon has the potential to be a better player, and I think the way Sessegnon has developed, if he carries on that trajectory, he probably will be better than Cucarella.
So if I said to you right now, swap Sessegnon for Cucarella, would you say yes or no?
Based on quality, I wouldn't say yes, but based on his injury record, that might sway me to a yes.
So in that sense, then it probably is backup.
Yeah, I'd say backup.
And I can't put him in solid signing. I can't put him in stay away because of his quality. So
I'm definitely not must sign. So yeah, backup.
All right, again, more symmetry. Next is Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
It's DCL.
Yeah, DCL. I mean, he's a good striker. Hasn't had the best of seasons. Probably the worst season he's had for a while. But he has qualities. I mean, if he came, obviously he'd be a backup. But
yeah, but there are backups and there are strikers who you would say, is he going to be too good to leave him on the bench?
Like Lautaro Martinez.
Exactly.
You know?
So if we got Martinez, you wouldn't put him in backup, even though there are games that he would play backup to Kane. But Calvert-Lewin, I think I don't know if does he go into that category of strikers where if he comes in, you would back him to snatch a starting spot because he's too good.
No, but if Kane was injured, would you be happy with Calvert-Lewin leading the line?
Yeah, I would be. I think. I know he's had a difficult season. Everton in general have had a difficult season, but him as well. He's struggled badly. I think he got 1 goal in August or something, and then didn't score again until like May. But he had a lot of injuries. The season before that, he was very good. But you got to remember as well, the season before that, he had like an amazing first half of the season, then dropped off quite badly in the second half of the season. So maybe on that basis, he isn't good enough. And also for me, actually, considering the fee he's probably going to command because he's their star player.
Stay away from me.
From that, on the basis of his fee, I would stay away. On the basis of his quality, I'll probably have him as backup. But
I think you got to look at things as a whole package, right?
Yeah.
And I think with DCL, English tax, I know we need kind of English players through the door, but I think we got to shop a bit smarter in that sense.
Looking at 60, 70 million.
Exactly,
probably.
and when you're looking at a similar fee for someone like Lautaro Martinez, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, so probably stay away.
Yeah.
As much as I'd like him.
Again, symmetry, 4 and 4. Christian Eriksen, must sign for me. That for free, it's got to be must sign.
And his creative ability.
I mean, he's got world class abilities at what he does. He's one of the best players, in my opinion, in Europe at what he does.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Must sign. I'm flying with solid signing just because is he extremely necessary for how we play? Mate, you could argue not. But I just think
it gives us alternatives to play different systems.
Yeah, and the fact that he's on a free and how well he's playing for Brentford, yeah, I think he goes into must sign.
Christian Eriksen goes into must sign. Next up is Gabrielle Jesus. Obviously, it looks like he could be on the way to Arsenal at the moment.
A lot of talk of it. I think he'd be a solid signing for us. Covers the strike force up front, covers a bit of the wing as well. Wouldn't be extremely expensive. You're talking 45 to 50 million for a 25-year-old player who's proven over many seasons for City. So I think he'd be, and I think he's quite good. So but I don't think he's a must sign. So I'll put him in solid signing.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I mean, if he came, he would be a backup. He'll be back up on the right wing. He'll be back up front.
But I wouldn't put it past him to earn a starting spot. I wouldn't. I mean, do I think
instead of who though?
Do I think he's better than Kulusevski? I don't know. It's up for debate. But I definitely think he'd be more than good enough to stake a claim. And also, if we play 3-5-2, he can play 2 up top and he can be one of the 2.
Yeah, his versatility is big.
Yeah.
Can play anywhere across that front 3, mainly on the right and the centre.
He's good enough where he can earn a first-team spot. I mean, I believe that. So
I'll agree with you. I'll put him on solid signing. Next up, I think the symmetry could be a bit rocked on this one. The next up is Gleison Bremer of Torino. Just got Serie A Defender of the Year. I'm going to put it out there and put him in must sign.
Must sign? You think we have to sign him?
Yeah.
Him, really?
If we were to sign him and Bastogne, Bastogne on the left, Bremer on the centre. Bremer's an upgrade on Dyer, in my opinion. And Bastogne, obviously, we spoke about Bastogne. So I think if we had a back 3 of Romero, Bremer and Bastogne, you're talking about one of the best defences in the Premier League.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue he's an upgrade on Dyer, but Dyer's playing very well at the moment as well.
He is.
And
but
I don't...
what 2 options to have?
But then who's... You need a real leader at the back. I don't know if Bremer represents... I don't know if Bremer represents. He might well do.
It's a good point, actually. I didn't even think
know.
of that.
He might.
No, that's a good point.
Someone with the glue. So I don't know. I don't, because then also you're having a back 3 of, well, Bremer's 25, but then Romero's 23, Bastogne's 23. Quite a young back line. I'll put him in solid signing. I don't know if he's a must sign, Bremer. I think if he was if someone a bit older to challenge Dyer, who's better quality, I'd say must sign. But someone like Bremer, I know he's had an amazing season, so it's difficult.
Like a Kalidou Koulibaly, right?
Yeah, he would be a must sign.
He would have that leadership qualities. Actually, Koulibaly's not in this list for some reason. But like Koulibaly, I kind of get what you're saying on the leadership, because Koulibaly would bring that.
And you even saw, like, with Romero, like, you put him in the centre in that period, and as much as he was playing well himself, the defence was all over the place because there was no leadership at the back, and that makes such a difference, and that's why Dyer was making a massive difference last season.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So that's why I put him in solid signing.
All right. Next up is Everton's Ben Godfrey. I like Ben Godfrey.
Yeah.
I think he's a solid player.
He would definitely going back up for me. I don't think he'd be in the first 2, but he is pretty good for Everton, and he's also quite young, so he could definitely develop into what we want. But I definitely think he's a player who probably covers the right hand side or the centre of the back 3, potentially even right wing back if we're desperate as well. But I think he's a backup in all those positions, so that's why I'll put him.
So what you're saying, he can play on the right, left, or centre?
Not left, centre, right, or right wing back potentially. Oh no, he has actually played left back as well. So you could probably play left centre back as well, actually. So he'd probably be a backup.
So when you're looking at our options, obviously Romero Sanchez on the right, he gets there ahead of Sanchez.
Potentially, I think he's a bit better on the ball than Sanchez. But you could argue Sanchez might be better defensively than him.
In the centre, we've just got Eric Dyer and Joe Rodon, so he gets up ahead of Joe Rodon for sure. The left-hand side, we've only got Ben Davis. I mean, is he better than Ben Davis?
I don't know. I don't know if he would be better than Ben Davis in that role. I'm not 100% convinced by that.
But again, his versatility can be massive for us because he can play a number of different roles across that back 5.
Yeah, and it depends how much they would command for him. He's quite young as well, so he's quite... And he's played it... Whenever I see him, he seems pretty good. And I seem to miss him. But I wouldn't put him...
Backup is fair.
I think I'd put him in backup.
All right. Next up is Anthony Gordon, young winger from Everton. Has had a really good season. I'm quite impressed every time I see him play, to be honest. And what really impressed me was his performance against Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. He had the beating of Trent that game quite often. Where would you put him?
To be honest, up until January, if you asked me this, I probably would have said stay away. But because I thought he was just a bit raw, he was just a kind of like a bit of a speed merchant, not much at the end of it. But I have to say, his end of the season, he really stepped up for Everton, and when they needed him, and he wasn't just showing hard work and graft, which a lot of young players do, but he's actually showing a lot of quality, and I have to give him credit for that, because for a young player to do that when your boyhood club is about to get relegated is very difficult, and he did that. He didn't shy away. He stepped up, and he was brilliant. Having said that, I don't see him... do I see him developing into a potential winger who's going to be starting week in, week out for Tottenham. I don't know if he is that of quality, or if he's just going to be a mid-table winger who's got quite good.
You know, I might prefer. It's a big statement, but I might prefer him ahead of Lucas Moura as a backup.
I wouldn't go that far yet. I wouldn't go as much as I like.
So I think he's got a lot of scope to improve. Lucas Moura doesn't really. You know what you're going to get with Lucas Moura every week, which is since Conte has come in, not that much.
You haven't seen the level of quality from Gordon though that you have from.
It's true. It's true, but Gordon is a lot younger and with a lot more scope to improve.
Yeah, true.
And he's probably more happy maybe to play that role in the Spurs squad than maybe Lucas Moura is. Because Lucas Moura lost a lot of... he lost a lot when Kulusevski came in.
And lost some confidence. So maybe he can regain it on pre-season. Who knows?
He can, but I'm not sure. When you've been here for so long and you've probably had one of your better times at Spurs in the first few months of the season under Nuno, and then suddenly Conte comes in and Kulusevski comes in, then you hardly get any minutes after that.
So what are you saying, backup?
I think backup, yeah.
But then he's probably, again, going to command quite a fee.
How much do you reckon he commands?
Probably 40, I would say.
At 40 million, I mean, the max I would spend on Gordon is probably about 25, 30.
Well, considering he's 21 and he's an Everton boy and, they need him, you're probably looking at 40, I would say. And, Premier League rival. Is he English?
He's English, yeah.
So I'd probably add an extra 5 million at least.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I wouldn't spend that money on him. I don't know if he's shown that level yet. But he has shown something. I would probably spend, as you say, about 20 million on him. But I don't think you can get him for that. But if you could, I'll probably have him as backup.
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of these flirt in between the two things. I think he flirts in between backup and stay away. Where are we going to put him? Put him in backup or stay away? What do you guys think in the comment section?
I think we can do better, so I would say stay away.
All right. I'll put him in stay away.
Not that I don't like him, though.
Next up is Alexander Isak of Sociedad, Sweden. National teammates with Dejan Kulusevski. I like him as a player. Hasn't had the best seasons in terms of goal scoring.
It's been a bit of an off season for one reason or another. Can't really put my finger on it. Maybe injuries or I don't know what it is. But he's only got 6 goals this season.
Still a big talent though.
Yeah, 17 the season before though, so you can't write that off.
How old is he? 23?
21, 21. Isaac, 22 maybe. 22, so still very young. Got a big scope to improve, and I think the way the trajectory he was on before the Euros, you'd have him all day. But they were talking about 70 million for him in January, so I wouldn't want to pay that. If you can get a good deal for him, I think he becomes a solid signing.
I think right now in his career, when you're looking at the tiers and who we've put in each tier, I think he is a level below like the Bremers, the Jesuses, the Carrascos, and Phillips.
Yeah, I don't think he goes on to that.
On the same level as maybe Adama Traore, Cucarella, and Ben Godfrey. I think he has scope to be a lot better than that, but right now where his
last year gone, you'd have to say that. But you could easily sign him, and then all of a sudden he's showing so many levels above. You know what I mean? With his quality, that's the thing. I rate him quite highly. He just hasn't had a good season, and then the doubts come in. Can he ever recapture that form he had?
Right now, he comes in as a backup, unfortunately. I think that's where he goes.
All right, backup. Yeah, I would definitely have Jesus ahead of him right now.
All right, this one is James Ward-Prowse.
I don't think he's a must-sign, especially at over 60 million potentially. And I think there's question marks over his ability to get around the pitch, but obviously his passing ability, his shooting ability, his set piece ability is second to none, and that's qualities we could definitely use. And he's a hard worker. Not to say he's not a hard worker. Sometimes he can get overrun a bit. That can be a bit of an issue for him. At 65 million, I would stay away. But if you're talking about quality, I'm not going to put him in stay away because I don't think that's fair on him. So I would put him but I do think he would probably start a lot of games if he signed for us and would be an upgrade on what we had. So I would put him in solid signing.
I'd agree. I think the attributes that he would bring to the team would absolutely, I think he would flourish in our team, to be honest. And I think the set pieces, how many times do we get set pieces and we just waste them? And I think he would absolutely sort that out. But the price you're talking about, 60 million, I do think there are better options out there in that position. So solid
For
signing.
that price as well, yeah.
Yeah. So solid signing for James Ward-Prowse. Next up is Philip Kostich.
It would have been a must sign in before Perisic, I would say.
I think I would still put him in must sign, because if we would bring him in, put Perisic over to the right, I think that would be unbelievable.
So I think considering the price, you're talking 18 million euros
Yeah.
potentially. You know, very good price for his quality. His delivery is brilliant.
He's still must sign for me.
But we have Perisic. So he's not a player who we desperate for anymore as much as we were. If you know,
I know we're not as desperate for him, but if you were offered the chance to sign him, you would say yes, and in the squad you would find room for him to play week in, week out with the qualities that he does have, and you would play him on the left and maybe a Perisic on the right.
I think Perisic's probably versatile enough that Kostic would get a lot of minutes anyway. And he's 33, and Kostic is a bit younger. So I'll put him in must sign.
Okay, Kostic goes into must sign. Next up is Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah, he's must sign.
Yeah,
for sure, but we're talking big money, which we're not going to probably spend. But I think if we were to spend it, we wouldn't regret it.
But at 24 years of age, at the qualities that he has, you're looking at Kane. I know Kane can probably go a bit further in his career, maybe to 33, 34, 35, something like that. But you're talking about the heir to his throne in Lautaro Martinez.
100%. I agree with that. That's why I think he's a must sign, just because his age and quality is so high for me that even if you were to spend 100+ million on him, you wouldn't regret it. I think over the long term, I think it would be a brilliant signing for you. I don't think we will spend it. I don't think we're getting him. I think we missed the boat on last summer. Not totally our fault, but is what it is. We couldn't get the deal done in time, and they got rid of Lukaku instead. I don't think it's viable for the time being, but if we have an opportunity to sign him, I think we should definitely take it.
I agree. Next up is PSG's Paredes.
I like Paredes. I think he's done well for PSG.
I think what we got are better though.
Yeah, he's very similar, a bit as well. Jack of all trades, master of none kind of player. I think you could easily bring him in and he could be similar level to Bentancur. I don't think it's definitely Bentancur's definitely better than him or Højbjerg, to be honest. I think they're quite good, but I don't think. How old is he? He's 28, is he? Paredes, Leandro. Is it Leandro? Isn't it?
Yeah.
27.
Not a bad age. Good age.
Only 15 starts last season for PSG. But I've always liked Paredes. I think he's a very solid midfielder. I wouldn't put him in stay away, but I'll probably put him as backup.
Thing is, I think I would put him in stay away because he doesn't represent as much, an upgrade, in my opinion, on Bentancur and Højbjerg. And I think there are other targets in central midfield that we can get that are better than him.
But he's probably going to be cheap.
But you're looking at someone like Weston Mckennie, who are probably not that much more expensive than him. I'd rather, spend the money in that area instead of Paredes. I'd put him in stay away. I don't really want him.
I'd put him as backup. I don't think he's that bad that I would not touch him.
How are we going to settle this one then? You got a coin?
Yeah.
You got a coin?
Coin flip. This is how we settle things. Where's the camera? What are you going for, heads or tails?
I'll call it in the air. Let it land on the table.
Okay.
I'm going heads. Tails. All right.
Back up. Come on.
John Mcginn.
John Mcginn, I think he's better than Paredes. I think, and he's probably proven. I think he's probably an upgrade, you could argue, on the ball and what we have. So I put him in solid signing. I don't think he's a must sign. I think you could probably get from around Europe, because he's got a bit of a Premier League tax on him. So you can probably get similar to better quality for cheaper than John McGinn. But I would put him in solid signing.
It's interesting because I would put him in backup, but that's because I put Paredes in stay away. I think I'd prefer Calvin Phillips and I'd prefer James Ward-Prowse, and we've put them in solid signing. So I think he's just a level below
Phillips and Prowse? Yeah, you're probably right. I probably would prefer Phillips and Prowse. I don't know if I'd prefer Prowse. I would prefer Phillips. Yeah, I probably would prefer Prowse because we set pieces. So put him in backup.
Okay, next up is Darwin Nunes. Amazing breakout season this year for Benfica. Done it in the Champions League as well against top opposition. And monstrous numbers this year in terms of goals. Where'd you put him?
I'm hesitant to put him in must sign, but the thing is, if he's as good as he's showing, if he really is that good, then he's a must sign. And because he can play a bit off the wing as well, he can play up front. I don't know. I just got a few question marks. I feel like his hold up play isn't that strong, and I feel like he'd command a massive fee and a big risky fee for a player who might not be as proven as we'd hoped he is. But the thing is, if he is as good as if he is literally this good, and he has been scoring in Champions League as well against Liverpool, obviously a bucket load in Portugal, if he's that strong, then he probably is a must sign.
Well, if you cast your mind back a year ago when we did this video, I was looking over the tiers. It could be a bit of a similar situation because we put Vlahovic in a solid signing at that stage where, 6 months later we put him in must sign.
Yeah, and because he showed it for another 6 months, didn't he, before he went to Juve. So, but look, you're talking about 70 million euros anyway, probably, or 60 plus million euros.
Yeah. He is, 21, 22?
Yeah, he's young. And he's been brilliant. I have to say, he's had a brilliant season. Do I put him in must sign, though? I don't. Is there too much risk to put him in must sign? Like, if you're looking at him versus like Lautaro Martinez, like Martinez has been doing it for like 3 years now. That's why I'm sure about him. Nunes, I'm still a bit doubtful about his, because it's not just that. I think his hold-up play and he can be a bit clumsy, and whether he can, obviously he's still young, so he can obviously improve that. But whether, we could say the same about Vinicius. He was also quite a clumsy player, but in Portugal he made it work for some reason, and he scored a bucket load and finished top goal scorer. When he came to Spurs, he did all right in Europa League and stuff, but he just never was the required quality. I'm not saying Nunes is the same level as Vinicius. I think he's probably better than Vinicius, but it's still kind of that kind of problem in a microcosm. That's why I'd probably put him in solid signing.
All right, look, let's put him in solid signing, but that's definitely going to be reviewed in 6 months' time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Solid signing. Victor Osimhen of Napoli. You got to remember they signed him for 80 million a few years back. They're going to want to recoup, the majority of that, if not more. Good striker, though.
He's a good striker. I don't think it's one we should be looking at, to be honest. I think he's way overvalued because of how much they signed him for. I don't think you're going to get the value back based on what he gives you, because at the moment he's proving to be about 15 goal a season striker, which is nothing to be ashamed of or bad. I'm not saying that makes him bad. I'm just saying if you're buying a player for 80 plus million, you want more than that, or so.
And you're looking at a lot of money.
I wouldn't say stay away, but if he was reasonably priced, I think he would be a good signing. But if you're talking about signing him for that amount of money, then stay away.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you, although I do think he's a top talent. He's young as well still, so he's got a scope to improve. It's difficult because I wouldn't want to put him in stay away because I know the qualities that he does have. But with the fee that you're looking at, the players that we have already in the squad, the other targets that we can maybe get in for cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, Scamacca got more goals than him last season. He'll probably be cheaper. You know what I mean? It's probably better off going for someone like that than it is spending massive money on.
How do you compare Nunes and Osimhen?
I think Osimhen's probably a bit more proven because he obviously signed for big money off the back of a very good season in France, didn't he?
So if Nunes is on solid signing, surely Osimhen should be probably the same category.
Yeah, I guess. But then obviously Nunes has shown the potential to get a lot more goals than Osimhen right now. That's the thing.
It is in the Portuguese league,
But
though.
it is in the Portuguese league. So it's a bit of give and take. But I'm saying Osimhen is never... I mean, how old is he, Osimhen?
I think he's about 24.
23. So he's also quite young. He's not old.
You got to remember, like, when Napoli signed him, he must have been about 19.
Oh,
20
look,
years
it's not
old.
it's not my money. I'll put him in solid signing.
All right, I agree there. Pau Torres.
Pau Torres, I don't think he's as much of a must sign as Bastogne. As much as I think he's brilliant, Pau Torres. So I'll probably put him in solid signing.
But still, Pau Torres, maybe, but yeah, I think I would prefer Bastogne, but you still would be very happy with Pau Torres, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would be very happy with Pau Torres, to be fair. I think he's very good.
Would he be like maybe your second option after Bastogne?
I think Gvardiol would be my second option.
Gvardiol, then Pau Torres.
Yeah, probably.
I'd agree with that. All right, we'll put him in solid signing, Pau Torres. Next up is Richarlison. I know you like him a
I
lot.
like him. I think he'll be great for us. I really do. I don't know how much they'll command, but
Apparently they're looking at like 30 million or something.
if that's
like
true, I mean, that's a steal. I really believe that. I think he's got so much quality. I know people think about his attitude and everything, but every top player has a bit of an ego, let's be honest. And I think he has so much quality, finishing ability, dribbling ability, versatility, Brazilian international. I think as well that for all the talk of the attitude, when Everton really needed him to step up, he did near the end of the season. He pretty much kept them up nearly by himself with some of the goals he scored. And I think he was fighting tooth and nail to keep in the Premier League. And I think that showed to me a good attitude. I don't know why everyone thinks he's got a really poor... Maybe it's because he dives sometimes or he gets in scuffles on the pitch, which he does have that shithousery about him, fair enough. But for me... I think as well he's ready to take the next step in the Champions League. I think he could easily be if in a few years starting either up on the wing positions for us. So for that price, I would say it's a must sign.
Could he take the mantle from Heung-min Son in a few years' time?
Yeah, why not? I think he's good enough.
Good enough?
I think so. You wouldn't have said Son was good enough when we signed him, you know what I mean? But when you develop into that player, I'm just a big believer in him. I'm a big believer in someone like Richarlison. If he's a real fighter as well, I reckon Conte would like him as well. So I don't know why he gets such a bad rap. Maybe it's just because our opposition fans don't like him because of how he acts on the pitch, but I'm a fan of him.
It's interesting because I do like Richarlison. He's got a very annoying face on the football pitch, not going to lie. Looks a bit like a pigeon. But I think I'd agree with you, to be honest. Solid signing, versatility. I think you can get him at a good price. And he's got good qualities about him.
And imagine just him as one of our options up front, adding to what we have. I think it'd be brilliant. It's Champions League. I think he's desperate to play Champions League as well.
We'll put him in solid signing. Next up is
I said
Alan.
must sign.
Must sign?
That's what I said.
Oh, no.
Why?
Not must sign.
Why?
Not must sign. Solid signing. Solid signing for me. Nah, he's not of the required ability of what we're going
Premier
for.
League proven. Why not?
It's a solid signing.
Why is he not of the required quality of what we're going for?
Because we've got Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, and Kulusevski. I don't think he's anywhere near those three.
First of all, I disagree with that completely. Kane and Son, I don't think Kulusevski is that much better than him, if at all. Actually, I don't think that's an argument which is completely out the realms of possibility. And also think that he's also been in struggling teams for the past 3 years, and he's shone in those struggling teams. I think you put him in a better team, he could easily be a 10 to 15 goal a season player from the wings, plus assists as well. And for that price, I mean, what more do you want from if we're getting an attacker right now, we're not going to get an attacker better than Kane and Son. We know that. Right, we all know that. No, we're not even looking for an attacker better than Kane and Son. We're looking for an attacker to supplement what we have. I can't think of a better one than Richarlison, to be honest.
Yeah, but you're looking at players in the must sign. You're looking at Bastogne, Eriksen, Bissouma, Kostic, Lautaro Martinez. I think Richarlison's just a level below.
For what we need, as in, just because I think he can play on the left as well.
We'll be bringing him in as a squad player. We're not bringing him in as a first team starter.
He could
week in, week out.
All right, fine. It's true. He's not necessarily definitely going to be a starter, but I think I really believe he's that good that he could easily be a starter within a year or two. I think so. I think he's that good.
Well, anyway, look, let's settle with solid signing, but let's see what the people think in the comment section below. Where would you put Richarlison in this tier list? We've put him in solid signing. Sim thinks maybe a must sign. But let's move on and let's talk about Alain Saint-Maximin of Newcastle.
Back up.
I like Saint-Maximin. I think he's got some really good qualities about him, but he's very frustrating.
Very Lucas Moura about him.
Yeah. He's very frustrating. His end product's not the best. And for someone of that qualities, he needs to be getting more output, goals and assists. He just needs to be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like him, but I reckon Conte as well would get frustrated.
Grandpa loves him, though.
Yeah, Grandpa does love him a lot. Always keeps talking about him, but I don't think I don't think he's one of those players where I'm like, don't go near him. But again, as well, Newcastle have a lot of money. He's going to cost a lot of money. I'll probably have him as backup.
Yeah. All right. Wilfred Singho from Torino.
Yeah, interesting one.
Unknown quantity, really.
Yeah, young player, 21.
I've literally never seen him play, so I can't really...
Haven't seen too much of him. I've seen bits, but I haven't seen too much.
We've heard that, breakout season in Italy this year. One of the best right wing backs in Italy this year. A position that we need. So, young, scope to improve. So on the basis of that, it's probably a solid signing. But
the problem is we want a right wing back, but we don't want a right wing back to be backup because we don't want to bring one who's backup to Doherty or Emerson, do we?
Yeah.
We want who's going to overtake Doherty or Emerson. Would Singho definitely do that? We don't know.
He's not a must sign. He's not stay away. He's either solid signing or backup. He's one of the two.
I mean, I don't know enough about him to put him in solid signing. That's the problem. So,
all right, let's put him in backup. Singho. Next up is Milan Scriniar. I think he goes straight into must sign. I absolutely love him as a defender. He's got leadership qualities about him as well. I think he can sit in that centre. He's definitely better than Eric Dyer. It's got to be must sign for me.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. Especially with his quality that we nearly signed him a year ago. Obviously, was that 2 years ago now? No, 1 year ago. 1 year ago we nearly signed him. Yeah.
Was it a year ago? Wasn't it not 2 years ago?
No, it was two.
Yeah.
Because we had Nuno at the beginning of last season. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Yeah. Time flies. 2 years ago we nearly got him.
It's very easy to scrape that Nuno.
Yeah, exactly. I forget about it. Obviously, he knows Conte as well. So that's a big factor. Yeah, I agree. Must sign with his quality.
All right. Jed Spence.
I think goes into solid signing.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he definitely represents a player who can overtake Doherty or Emerson. Playing very well. Decent price potentially. English. Young. Yeah, good solid signing.
Raheem Sterling.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think he goes into must sign.
See, look, when you're comparing Sterling and Richarlison...
I think Sterling's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be very hard to put Sterling and Richarlison in the same category. You know what I mean?
I think Sterling's... Yeah, fair enough. I think Sterling's better. Yeah. You can play right, you can play left, you can sometimes play
false
centre.
nine, but we don't really play a false nine.
I think he definitely represents a player challenging for the first team easily.
Yeah, 100%. He's got world-class ability.
As much as you can say Kane and Son are better, he could easily come and blow us out the water. Blow him out the water. You never know. So if we got a chance to sign Sterling, I think we should definitely take it.
I completely agree.
But the only thing I'd say about Sterling is I think Pep has made him a very good player, and whether he'd be as good under a different manager is another question.
Yeah, you got to back Conte to get the best out of him as well.
It's just the way he gets Sterling every time arriving at that back post. You know how many tap-ins he gets and stuff like that. Would he get that under Conte? That's a question.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Do you reckon Conte will make him into a wing back and then he'll have him arriving at the back post?
Exactly. Come on. Then we got it.
Next up is Thomas Souček.
I like Souček. I I think aerially he's great from set pieces and stuff. I don't think he's as good as what we have, to be honest, off the ball, as much as he's quite good off the ball. So I think he'd be a backup. I like him. I don't think he's a bad player.
Yeah, I think backup. But again, like, if we put in a bid to West Ham, they're probably not accepting anything like below like 80 million for him or something.
Just because it's us, probably. Yeah, you're probably
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'll put him, that just to piss him off. You know what I mean? That'd be all right.
Weston Mckennie. Last two, by the way. Weston
Mckennie, is he a must sign? Or is he
I think he goes into solid signing, to be honest. I think he's a very good player.
Is he better than Basuma?
It's hard to judge because we see Basuma week in, week out. We don't see Mckennie week in, week out.
I think Basuma dominates games a bit more than Mckennie does. I think McKennie's a bit more of a destroyer, very physical, gets himself in the box as well. But I think in terms of on the ball quality, dribbling, maybe shooting and stuff, I think Basuma's probably better at that. Defensively, I think McKennie's probably a bit better than Basuma.
He gets a fair amount of goals, Mckennie, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But that's more like arriving late in the box and stuff. I think McKennie's probably a bit younger. But obviously, Basuma's proven. I think, McKennie will probably go into solid signing. I don't think he's a must sign. But he would be a good signing for us.
And last but not least, Yuri Tielemans.
I also goes in solid signing for me.
Probably get him at a good price, which is below his true value. Premier League proven. Hasn't had the best year, but I think that's been to do with everything surrounding his future and stuff like that.
I think he represents a player who could be very good on the ball for us, dictating play and spreading passes, long-range shooting.
I'd agree with you.
So, but obviously big question marks over off the ball, so solid signing.
All right, so that is our tier list. If you bring up the tier list in big, let's go through the tiers. So you've got must sign, you've got Bastogne, you've got Brian Daigle trying to call me on FaceTime there. You got Bastogne, Bissouma, Christian Eriksen, Kostich, Lautaro Martinez, Scriniar, and Raheem Sterling. All absolutely brilliant players. That
would all improve our team
massively. Solid signing. You got Calvin Phillips, Yannick Carrasco, Gabrielle Jesus, Gleison Bremer, James Ward-Prowse, Darwin Nunes, Victor Osimhen, Pau Torres, Richarlison, Jed Spence, Mckennie, and Yuri Tielemans, which I think all of them do improve our team as well.
I think they improve. They all improve our squad for sure. I think the ones at the top definitely improve our first team, and then the ones at the bottom then definitely improve our squad. Yeah, I agree with that.
Back up, you've got Traore, Cucarella, Godfrey, Isaac, Paredes, Mcginn, St. Maximin, Singho, and Souček.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think those are players that probably represent who wouldn't get us too excited, but could be good potentially. But I don't think that we're desperate for them.
And in stay away, you've got Harrison, Calvert-Lewin, and Anthony Gordon.
Didn't stay away from too many of them then, did we?
Yeah, and when you cast your mind back to last year, we stayed away with quite a lot of them. And it represents, like, since Conte has come in and Paratici has come in, the kind of level of player we're kind of linked with now back in the Champions League.
Yeah, potentially, and that's definitely positive. I'm looking forward to what this summer is going to bring, and I think we're in for a big one, especially with the money pumped into the club, Champions League money, Conte at the helm as well. We don't want to let this opportunity pass. We've started early as well. Perisic already through the door, so let's see what we can do this summer.
All right, so that is our transfer target tier list. Let me know what your thoughts are on our tier list. Do you think we've made the right calls? If not, let us know in the comments section below where you would place at each and every player we have mentioned today. Thank you everyone for watching us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.